Hi, I'm Donnie Buchanan from entrycounts.com. In this video, we're going to look at what EntryCounts does for accounting practices to help them get all the value from Xero and Xero's financial statements. What we're going to do is we're going to compare what we do to what you can do with Xero's financial statements. The main difference is that we have a lot of experience. We've done over 200 implementations for accounting practices all around Australia, New Zealand, and some other parts of the world. With that experience, we've received pretty much the same feedback across those 200 customers. So with that feedback, we've developed our service to best meet all your needs and solve as many problems as we can for you. Okay, so let's take a look at what we do. Now, before you get started on this journey, you need to ask yourself a couple of very simple questions. The first question is, what type of quality do I expect in my financial statements? Perhaps if you're a CPA or a CA or an IPA firm, you might have some quality assurance expectations that you need to meet. Okay, or perhaps you're not so worried about things like that. You'd be quite happy for some very basic financial statements. Depends on what you want. Now, you know yourself better than anybody. So ask yourself, do I need high quality financial statements, or do I just need some very basic ones? The second question you need to ask yourself is, how much time should I spend on producing financial statements? A lot of clients come to us because they're taking 45 minutes to produce them, and we get them down to 60 seconds. Okay, so what is your expectation? When I used Handy Ledger, I could just press F5 and they'd be ready to produce within 30 seconds. That's what we aim for at EntryCounts. Okay, so ask yourself those two questions and then move on to the next stage. Now, Xero does offer you some financial statements. Let's go to Xero HQ and take a look. Down the bottom of the page here, you can see the standard off-the-shelf financial statements that Xero provides you. You can see that they've got a trust, a partnership, a sole trader, and a company. Now, you can use these. You will be required to do a little bit of updating to get them ready for use. The main thing you'll need to do is actually just add in details like directors' names, trustees, your practice details, and a few other items. Now, you might be very happy with that, and you might just move along quite happily using Xero's financial statements. But as I asked you at the start, you need to consider what type of accounting practice you are. What is your level of expectation? What do you call quality financial statements? And what exactly is efficiency? Once you figure out what that is, you will then know whether or not you should use us at EntryCounts or whether you can do it yourself. Okay, first thing is to go to our website, entrycounts.com, and go to the section, You Do It. Okay, just scroll down the page and click on the image, and it's going to take you to a link. Now, this guide is to help you do it all yourself. The main thing I want to show you though is that we like to show you what does not work in Xero. We've got a full section here, and the reason we like to show you that up front is that it's going to save you running into these problems yourself. Okay, but it will also show you why we need to build everything the way we do and how we do it in order to get the best results and get around these small limitations. Okay, back in Xero now, the main thing I'd like to show you is settings in Xero and why you need to understand what works and what doesn't work. So let's go to the demo company and settings, organization settings. Down here to organization type. Here's the key. As an accounting practice, if we change this from, say, company to trust or partnership, you'd think that perhaps Another field would emerge here to ask us what type of trust it is, whether it's a discretionary trust or a unit trust or a bear trust. You'd think it might ask us what type of trustee it has. Has it got a corporate trustee or does it have an individual trustee? And not only that, who's signing it? Where do we put the names for the people that sign the declarations? They're not here. And the other assumption we might make as an accounting practice is if we change this organization type, it should actually update the chart of accounts, and it should update the type of report, the type of financial statements that will be produced. Okay, so the main lesson here, and this is very important, is that changing this organization type has no effect on any of those items. It does nothing for your chart of accounts, it does nothing for your financial statements, and it also does nothing for your structure type and your signatories. So how do we get around that? Well, that's why entry counts helps people. Take a look at this image here. This is an accounting practice that we did some work on a couple of months ago. What you'll notice is I've designed these financial statement templates to get around those limitations and settings. Okay, so if you had a unit trust with a corporate trustee and 2 directors, you would choose that financial statement template. This will save you the headache of trying to add in bits and pieces and change the wording and basically mess around to try and get the best outcome. What you'll also notice in settings is we can't actually choose whether this entity is a trading entity or non-trading. The main difference is, does it need a trading statement with a gross profit formula, or does it just need income and expenses? Okay, so we can't choose that here in settings either. So that's another thing we do, is we build you templates to get around that problem as well. Okay, so what we're going to look at next is what entry counts does to give you the best Xero financial statements. In order to do that, what we do is we take the Xero version and we optimize it. The way we do that is we improve the trading statement, the income statements, the balance sheet, and the notes. There are a few other improvements we do, but those 4 items require the most effort. I'll show you the very basics of that now by copying the Xero Trust version and showing you what we need to do to make them so much better. Okay, so the first one to quickly look at is the trading statement. So I'm going to go down here to edit layout. What we do here is we tidy up these groups and we give them a better display. We change the names of some of these and we regroup them and we set them up in a way that just makes things look that little bit easier to use. Okay, so that's how we improve the trading statement. The next thing is over here on the income statement. These sections also need a little bit more tidying up. For example, within there, we move a few things around, but also down here, what you'll notice, especially down here in expenses, is that Xero's got these groups preset here. And sometimes the way they do this, it can lead to a unusual display and the reports aren't quite as easy to use as what they should be. So we rearrange these for you, we rename them, we do other things just to tidy it up and make it easier for you. The second part is we come to the balance sheet and we can choose between these 2 balance sheets that Xero's got, depending on what type of balance sheet you like. The main thing we'd like to bring to your attention is that a lot of accounting firms, they want all the balance sheet to be completely grouped with a corresponding link to the note to the financial statement. What you'll notice is not everything is grouped and not everything therefore is linked. So If you're an accounting firm that wants a summarized balance sheet with a link through to the notes to show all the detail, then you have to do that yourself. This is what we do. We come in here and we completely regroup and rename everything and link it through to the notes. The other problem with Xero is that if we go to the notes, not all the groups from the balance sheet are presented, which means you need to add them. Okay, we've got note 2, we've got note 3, and so on and so on. But what you'll notice in a balance sheet is that there are around 26 different notes, yet Xero only gives you 11. Okay, so you need to come in and add more schedules and more schedules and more schedules and more schedules, and then insert the report codes that match the notes. This requires a significant amount of work and cross-checking. This is where you'll distinguish yourself between whether or not you have the requirements for quality assurance or whether you're satisfied with a basic balance sheet and very, very basic notes. So you need to ask yourself who you are and what your quality expectation is. We also improve some of these other reports like income distributions and owner accounts, which make your life easier. If you go back to our website, under resources, you'll be able to download some trust financial statements, and in here you'll be able to look at the quality of financial statements that we produce at Entry Counts. This example here is a corporate trustee with 10 beneficiaries, and what this report shows you is that these types of reports can be produced in about 60 seconds. We also provide you master charts of accounts in Microsoft Excel. These charts of accounts are going to help you manage all your zeros for your customers. They are crucial to getting this project correct. And we also give you training resources. If you go to our website, to courses, you'll see our training resources, how to master Xero report templates. You can use all these training resources to update your internal processes within your practice. You'll notice that most of the training content is in sections, and it's also in a how-to style. So you can come here and ask yourself, how do I do A or how do I do B? For example, how do I import data? How do I pay trust distributions? How do I pay dividends, etc., etc. Everything laid out to make your life so much easier. So remember what I asked you at the start, what is quality and what is efficiency? Once you figure out what that looks like to you, you will then know whether or not you should be talking to Entry Counts or whether or not you'd like to do it yourself. Now, like I said, if you do it yourself, please use our guide. It does require a lot of work. At Entry Counts, we take all that work away from you and give you a risk-free implementation. You transfer all the risk to us. Leave it to us, we're the experts. We will get you the best result. All right, well, I hope that video was helpful for you. Please reach out to me at donnie@entrycounts.com or jump on my website and book me. I would love to have a chat to you and see how you're going. Awesome. Have a good day.